iconic speech about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I mean, Justice Ginsburg, yes, give a big clap. Justice Ginsburg means so much to all of us, not just women, but men, because she always used the word gender when she was arguing her cases in front of the Supreme Court. Ruth had been discriminated against herself. When she first got a job at the Social Security Administration, when she got pregnant, they lowered her wages. That wouldn't happen today, probably. She also then, when she went to law school, was one of 9 women in her class. Famously, the dean of the school had those women over for dinner one night and asked them, "Why are you taking a spot away from a man?" Another time, she couldn't get a clerk job after she was done with law school. She accepted a clerk's position, and the judge only hired her as long as he had a backup clerk, just to make sure that if she didn't make it through, that he'd have somebody to fill her shoes. I think that's only fitting. She should have them. Sirens blaring for her. When Ruth graduated from law school, and after she clerked, she got a job with Rutgers University, once again being paid less than the other male professors in her department. Through Rutgers University then, she started to study gender discrimination. She then went on to found the Women's Rights Project with the ACLU and started those famous cases. But what's most interesting about the cases that she argued is that she used men. And one of my favorite cases is one where a young husband had lost his wife in childbirth. He went to the Social Security Administration to see if he could get benefits to be able to stay at home with his son a little longer. He was denied those benefits because at that time, the Social Security benefits were only for widows, not widowers. Ruth famously argued that case and was able to show that gender discrimination wasn't just a female issue, it was also a male issue. And so under the Equal Protection Clause, men should also be able to have those survivorship benefits. She also argued another case representing a man in front of the Supreme Court where survivor benefits in an aging population where only the women could take under their husband's Social Security. If the man could not prove dependency on his wife, he couldn't get the higher amount of Social Security. She successfully argued that to show that both a man and a woman should be able to get the higher Social Security without showing dependency. These cases would have been very helpful to my grandmother. In 1933, the year that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was born was the year that my grandmother found herself a widow, having to raise 3 little girls at the end of the Depression. She could not get Social Security benefits because Social Security wasn't there at that time. She happened to be a bookkeeper. She went back to work at the Brunson Reel Company, making less money than her male counterparts, even though she had 3 little girls at home. So she and Ruth had something in common. My grandmother, though, persevered, put all 3 of those girls through nursing school, one of which is my mother. At 90 years old, my mother is one of the biggest fans of RGB you will ever meet. In fact, in our household, we refer to her as Ruth. Mom will say, "That Ruth, I watched that Ruth show again." She's watched the documentary, I know at least twice, if not more, when she can pull it up on Netflix. And at 90, that's a pretty impressive thing that she can do. The other thing she's doing right now is reading Ruth Bader Ginsburg's biography. She loves to talk about the changes that Ruth saw in her life and as well as my mother saw. People would ask Ruth's mother was a bookkeeper, and they would ask her, "Ruth, your mother's a bookkeeper in Brooklyn. How do you get from a bookkeeper in Brooklyn to the Supreme Court?" And she'd say, 1 generation. Well, it's taken 2 generations to get from a bookkeeper in Brunson to an attorney in Angola and LaGrange in my family. But we are so grateful to her for what she has done, not just for women, but for men as well. Two things that she has challenged people to do. One is she will tell you, Ruth would say, go out into your community and do something good. Go out and with a purpose. Just like you all are doing tonight here, but you don't have to just sit on a board to volunteer. You don't have to write a check for a nonprofit or start a nonprofit. It can be as simple as calling someone to check on them, to make sure they're okay. There was a lady that passed away the same day that Ruth Bader Ginsburg did, named Louise Brock. Louise Brock was from Hudson, and Louise Brock was known as Nana to many people in the Hamilton area. She made over 20,000 brownies for her grandchildren's sports teams. She had such an impact on people just doing that small thing of making brownies. So go out into your community, do something special. It has an impact, just like when Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote a dissent. The dissent was not for chastising her fellow colleagues on the Supreme Court. The dissent was showing what's possible, what the law can be. It's for the future, just like going out and doing something for your community. It's the ripple effect. It's doing something to change and seeing what's possible. So if I could leave you with one thing, it would be to always go out and do something for your community and keep dissenting, because that's what Ruth would want us to do. So thank you for having me here tonight.